So, welcome to the first class of our Flexy Flow February month. So, as mentioned before, what we are going to focus on today is the lower back and also the hamstrings, the back of the legs. Things that you need for this practice today are either, well, you don't need them, let me correct that. You don't need them, but they might be nice to have around. A block, or you can also use a stack of books if you are, like me, stuck at home during quarantine. One thing that might be nice to have, if you can check this actually right now, you can come sit onto your butt. And if you're noticing that while you're sitting like this, your spine starts to round. So it feels as if your hips are falling to the back. And it's hard for you to straighten out the spine. Then grab the nearest pillow, or you can also use that block or a blanket, fold a couple of different times, and then you can actually place that under the butt, which will make it very much easier for your hips to make the movement to keep the spine straight. So this is just a tip in general, but especially when we are focusing on the lower back and the hamstrings, because if the muscles over there are too short, you will actually have this problem. So that being said, we are going to start with a very, very short meditation just to get you in the right mind space, the right mindset to step onto your mat today, onto your practice, into your practice, I guess. So, yes, then we have the physical part, and we end, of course, with a nice, beautiful Shavasana. Let's start with the meditation. So you can come sit onto your sitting bones. You can also start lying down if you want to. It's your party. And then we place the back of the hands onto the knees or into the mat if you are lying down. And on the next inhalation, rolling the shoulders up to the ears. On exhalation, rolling them back down. Relaxing the shoulders, closing the eyes, or keeping the soft gaze downwards, whichever you prefer. And really using this time to reconnect with yourself on this beautiful day. Taking long breaths, comfortable breaths. And dropping the shoulders lower on each exhalation. Allowing yourself to let go of all the things that you don't need right here, right now. And maybe even breathing out a couple of thoughts that are bothering you at this moment, at this point in time. Taking 5 more deep breaths in this short meditation. On the next inhalation, still with the eyes closed, we circle the arms up to the ceiling and lengthen everything up all the way up through the fingertips. And on the exhalation, we fold forward. Try to hinge from the hips as if you're pushing your butt to the back. And gently place your hands wherever they land. So maybe they want to land, just quite near your feet. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper. See what it is that your body wants. So one rule of thumb that I have in my yoga classes, and a lot of teachers have, I hope, is that yoga shouldn't hurt. If you do feel pain, come out of the pose. Staying here for 5, stretching the lower back. You can even drop your head down if you want to, relaxing the neck for 4, 3, 2, 1. On the inhalation, we gently walk ourselves back up, and in our own way, we come onto hands and knees. Making sure that our shoulders are above the wrists, the knees are hip width apart. And from here, we're going to switch the weight from the left hand over to the right hand. And as you're doing this, you may feel inclined to bring your shoulder to the front that you have the weight on. So if it's the right hand, the right shoulder goes to the front. If it's your left hand, the left. And that way you will actually make an S-like movement with the spine if you choose to also take the hips along. A little bit like a snake. Warming up the spine and the muscles around the hips and the lower back. And actually the hips and lower back are connected through a bunch of muscles. And then gently we come to the center. On the inhalation, we arch the spine, so we drop the belly down, roll the shoulder blades towards each other, and the gaze is upwards for a cow pose. On the exhalation, we round the spine, gaze in between the thighs for cat pose. Inhaling, moving it into cow, arch spine. Exhaling, rounding the spine, cat pose. Inhaling, cow, last time. Exhaling, cat. Inhaling, coming to a neutral spine, make sure to spread the fingers as wide as you can into the mat, push the hands into the mat, toes go into the mat, and on your next exhalation, we push the butt to the back and all the way up into a downward facing dog. On your next inhalation, we're coming onto the tippy toes, as high as you can. On the exhalation, we push the heels all the way down to the mats. Inhaling, coming onto the tippy toes. Exhaling, heels go down. Stretching the back of the legs. One more time. Inhaling, tippy toes. Exhaling, heels go down. From here, on the next exhalation, we walk the hands to the feet. And on the inhalation, we come on with the hands onto the shins, making a table of the back. And don't forget to roll the shoulders to the back a little bit. On the exhalation, we fold forward, keeping a straight spine. So if you're noticing that you can just go down an inch, you stay there. That is perfectly fine. If you want to go a little bit deeper, that is also perfectly fine. Standing in a standing forward fold. We're going to stay here for 3 deep breaths. And one key point to pay attention to when you are doing this movement is to keep those knees at least slightly bent. Otherwise, you are locking the knee joints and they are not happy when you do that. It's actually quite unhealthy for them. So slightly bend those knees and place your hands wherever you want to. You can even place them onto the blocks that I mentioned earlier. One more deep breath here. Next inhalation, we soak the arms all the way up to the ceiling, so we come into a standing position. Exhaling, folding forward. Again, into that standing forward fold. Inhaling, hands to the shins, making a table of the back. Exhaling, folding forward. On the next inhalation, we walk the hands into downward facing dog again. On the exhalation, you can deepen the pose a little bit. And also in downward facing dog, those knees are at least slightly bent. On the next inhalation, the left foot goes up to the ceiling. On the exhalation, the left foot goes in between the hands. If you don't get there at once, no worries. Grab that ankle, drag it a little bit to the front, so the front knee is above the front ankle. Back knee goes into the mat. If the back knee cap is pushing into the mat and it feels uncomfortable, grab a pillow or a blanket that I mentioned before and place it under the back knee. If you're noticing that your spine is quite rounded and that feels uncomfortable, you can grab that stack of books or the blocks that I mentioned before. We're going to stay here for 3, low lunge, also known as equestrian pose. 2, 1. Next exhalation, we bring the hips to the back, so the back hip is above the back knee, and we fold a little bit forward if it feels okay. Again, you don't need to, just make sure that it feels comfortable to you. On the inhalation, we'll move it into the low lunge again. So we're going to do this half split flow 4 more times. Exhaling, pushing the hips to the back, half splits. Inhaling, moving into low lunge, equestrian pose. Exhaling, half split. Inhaling, low lunge. And try to keep the spine as straight as possible, especially when you move to the back. Exhaling, half split. Keep the spine straight. Inhaling, low lunge. We're going to do this one more time. Exhaling, half split. Inhaling, low lunge. On the exhalation, we step it to downward facing dog. And we're just going to make a walking movement with the legs to wake up those legs a little bit again. For 3, 2, 1. Next inhalation, right foot goes up to the ceiling. Exhaling, right foot in between the hands. Back knee goes into the mat. And again, we are going to stay first in the low lunge for 3 deep breaths. So you can place the hands onto the mat or onto the blocks, whichever you prefer. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can also choose to place the underarms onto the front thigh. For 3, and try to relax the back leg. 2, 1. Placing the hands onto the mat, and on your next exhalation, we're going to walk it again to the half split. Pushing the butt to the back. Folding forward. Inhaling, low lunge. Exhaling, half split. Inhaling, low lunge. Exhaling, half split. Inhaling, low lunge. 2 more times. Exhaling, half split. And don't forget to flex the foot so the toes are moving towards you. Inhaling, low lunge. Last one. Exhaling, half split. Inhaling to the low lunge. And from here, in your own way, you come sit onto your butts. So from here, we are going to stretch the left leg out to the front. The right sole of the foot goes onto the left thigh. So, as mentioned before, if you're noticing that you have a tendency with the spine or the hips to fall to the back, grab that pillow or block and place it on the hips to heighten yourself. Next inhalation, we circle the arms up to the ceiling. On the exhalation, we twist the upper body a little bit to the stretched out leg and we fold forward. And then you just place your hands wherever they land. So a lot of people actually have the tendency to not to grow. Maybe unless you're a child, and keep growing. That's a healthy thing. But what I wanted to say, to grab the toes or the feet, even though at the moment they maybe not have the length yet. It will get, well, actually that will grow. The length will grow in time when you do this more often. But just place your hands wherever they land. You don't need to grab those toes. You don't even need to grab, I don't know, your thigh if you want to. You can just place them wherever. Make sure the shoulders stay relaxed. We don't want to strain the neck or the shoulders. And just close the eyes. Just take this as a time to stretch the back of the leg, the left leg, and also the muscles that are a little bit deeper inside the right side of the lower back. For 3 more deep breaths, a total of 5 deep breaths. Next inhalation, we gently walk ourselves back up and we switch sides. So the right leg goes to the front, left sole of the foot onto the right thigh. Next inhalation, when you are ready, you circle those arms up to lengthen the spine. And then we twist the upper body to the right leg on the exhalation. We fold forward. Again, just placing the hands wherever they land. The length will grow in time. For 5 deep breaths. Last deep breath here. And gently we come back up. And we are going for one last forward fold, which will be with both legs stretched out to the front. So again, make sure the spine is nice and straight. On the inhalation, we circle the arms up, flex the toes, legs are active. On the exhalation, keep the spine straight. We fold forward. Whenever you notice that your spine starts to round, go a little bit back up to where you can keep the spine straight. And then we stay here for 5 deep breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the inhalation, gently walking yourself up, coming to lie down onto your back. Before we go into our Shavasana, we are going to do a quick reclining twist to make sure that all the vertebrae are in the right place. So you can bend both knees, stretching both arms out to the side. And on the exhalation, the knees fall over to the right side. Both shoulder blades stay in the mat, gazes either up to the ceiling or over the left arm. Staying here for 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, both knees go to center. Exhaling, knees fall over to the left side. Again, both shoulder blades stay in the mat. Gaze either up to the ceiling or over the right arm. For 3, 2, 1. Next inhalation, both knees go to center. And just for a moment, place your hands onto the bent knees and make circles with those knees. That way you can give yourself a delicious lower back massage without the need of a masseuse. I mean, who wouldn't want to get that as a present, right? Great life hack. Also circles the other way around. And from here we come into a Shavasana. Lying onto your back, hand palms up to the ceiling. Roll the shoulders back down, finding a nice comfortable position. If your lower back doesn't feel too hot and happening right now, you can choose to place the feet as wide as the mat into the mat. And let the knees fall towards each other to get some pressure off of that lower back. And just taking your time in this Shavasana. And after some time, I will let you know when we get out of the Shavasana. But even if you notice then that you still want to lie there for a little bit, taking a bit more time to yourself, of course, feel free to just stay there. This is your personal practice, and it's up to you to what you do and what you don't want to do. Just fully relaxing the breath, relaxing the body, and relaxing the mind. Gently, we start moving the toes again, moving the fingers, making circles with the hands and with the feet, and maybe even stretching yourself out fully, or making yourself really small by hugging the knees in towards the chest. Whenever you feel ready, you can come back out to a comfortable seated position. And when you are in that comfortable seated position, take one more time, deep breath in, To circle the arms up, to stretch yourself out fully. And on the exhalation, the hands go in front of the heart. Thank you for sharing this time here with me today, sharing this practice with me today. And of course, you should also thank yourself very much to have taken these couple of minutes out of your day to take care of your mind and your body. So namaste to all of you. And I hope to see you next week again in the Flexy Flow February.